Oh my goodness, I've been so inspired, especially since this morning. I mean, ideas are just like bing, 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 bing. And that's what I came for. I came for ideas. I came to be inspired. I came to just soak it all in. And that's exactly what's happening. And I'm loving it, every minute of it.
It's amazing. It's a lot of knowledge, a lot of enlightenment with how AI tools are shaping the future of the industry. So it has been a great 2 days so far, and looking forward to the ending session.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, Robbie.
Wow, we did 3 conferences in the last 2 months. It's crazy. Yeah, it's been
Welcome to my life.
And those were just
And your
those
life.
are just the ones that we recorded, right? I mean, you've been to others. I think I've been to one other, so that's crazy.
Yes.
But I really like these bonus episodes that we're doing about the events, and
Yes.
we didn't talk about it at Vistara, and that's just because we were so busy. But Vistara in Austin, Texas. Now I forget the dates on it, but it was in
mid-May.
Yeah,
sometime
mid-May.
in May.
I know. Where were we? We don't know. So it was different, though, I thought. For me, it was a different type conference, and I really enjoyed it. Vistara was agency-based, so it was a little broader. It wasn't focused on one technology, but...
Yeah, and it was very business focused, right? Like the people that were there, sure, there were some developers there, but the vast majority of people there were agency owners, marketers in the agency space, and so it was a lot more high level discussion, which I'm with you. In the last few years, I've actually specifically been trying to go to more conferences like this, where it's just different, right? You're not getting bogged down into the specific technologies. You're talking more about business general things, operating your agency, finding clients, delivering for clients. And, Vistara is put on by E2M, which is a white label agency. They usually work behind the scenes with other agencies and do the really technical stuff. And so it was really cool to see them bring together a really cool group of attendees, speakers, and I mean the sponsors were pretty good. I got to say, at least those Kinsta guys, they really had their stuff together.
So I guess this is year 2 of Vistara. This is my first time here, and I can't remember the last time I've just been at a conference by agencies for agencies,
Right.
which is really cool. I was an agency for 17 years,
Wow.
and we really never had anything like this. It was always some kind of tech conference or some kind of, very niche specific thing, but not something that was actually there to support agencies. So this has been a welcome change of pace. I wish I had it 17 years ago.
We had Brant, who runs E2M Solutions, on the show on a previous episode, and as if anyone listened to that show, they are all about AI forward. And so even though it wasn't one particular technology, there was a focus on how to implement and use AI, not only for your clients, right? But they were also talking about, which I think was much more interesting to the agency owners, on how they can use it internally and how it can help them get themselves up to speed internally by switching a lot of their processes to using AI. And they didn't just tell you this is what you needed to do at Vistara. That was the thing I thought was the best, was that they actually showcased it. We actually saw them doing it on stage. And then also their AI lab that they put together, which was really cool. And I don't know if you had much time to go into that AI lab, but
I didn't.
It was pretty impressive, especially for agency owners. And I heard some of them talking about it afterwards, because they could go in and literally talk to that AI bot, tell them about their business, and it would in 5 minutes give them some action items. And so it was a actually working AI lab, which that's really cool, because again, we go to a lot of these conferences and everybody's like, you got to use AI, but that's where they stop, right? It's like, yes, go do it. Just go start doing it. Well, okay, but that's sometimes overwhelming, especially for agency owners. They're busy. They're really busy. They know they can't
Yeah.
miss this opportunity, but they're busy.
Yeah.
And so seeing actual practical application, not just go do this, but literally let me show you what we're doing with this, that was impressive, I felt like. And I felt like the attendees, that's what they were talking about. Even now on LinkedIn, I actually just saw somebody yesterday post about that AI lab, and they were like,
Sure.
so impressive. And they were telling other agency owners, and then they were going in there to go do it, And so, yeah. Pretty cool, I thought.
The speakers were all really great. I didn't get to catch a lot of them, but it sounds like you did. Tell me about who was your top 3 speakers?
Okay, top 3 speakers. Definitely Brittany Mueller was going to be.
Okay.
She's going to be one of my.
Okay.
And I'm going to take Brant and set him aside because he's like MC speaker, right? And
Yeah.
Brant's he's just good on the stage.
And he's
Brant
a
was
force.
excellent. Yeah, he is. But I'm not going to use him as one of my 3 spots. He'll be somewhere above that, right? Okay. But now, so the
Fair
others.
enough, fair
Brittany
enough.
Mueller, loved it.
Yes.
I thought that Jason Swank, his talk.
Yes.
Was really, really well done. And he had a little bit of technical difficulties there. That wasn't his fault, but there were a little bit of technical difficulties with the mic or the PowerPoint, I think. But otherwise, though,
Sure.
it was valuable
It
information.
showed you that it wasn't AI.
That's true. That's true.
That
'Cause AI
proved
would
that it
not have
wasn't
had that.
AI. Of course, we were physically in the room too, so.
That helps right now. Now, I don't know. In 10 years from now, I don't know. We won't know if it's their clone or if it's them. I don't know. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Who
no.
else?
So Jason really talked about that at a high level with the like kind of creating your own operating system with AI. And so
Yes.
it was a really cool concept. He also gave away, he had a link so you could go, he's giving away the tool that he's kind of put together and we talked about. So you can go
Yes.
and use what he's put together. Brittany Mueller, I thought that her examples were really relevant to the room, relevant to our time we're in AI. So the examples she gave of things that you should start trying to do, you should start building now. And I loved it. She had probably the best takeaway call out when she said, go build your ugly project now. She's like, just build it. It's going to be ugly. It's the first one, right? But that takeaway I've seen resonate on LinkedIn too. For people who are at Vistara, I see them saying, oh, what was your ugly project you did after the week after? And she had lots of good metrics, I felt like, to show to show kind of where we are in this AI world and the adoption rates and things like that. I thought that her numbers that she had were really good.
I have had several people come up to me after the talk saying that they want to build a thing that does this and this and this and this. That's great. You can get there. You have to chunk it out. You have to have an engineering mindset. Okay. Which we as marketers don't really have. We're not taught. We don't flex that thinking. That's not how we operate. But taking a task and really breaking it down into individual steps as if you were going to hand it to an intern in another room via a sheet of paper. That's the level of kind of logic that you have to break it down. And then you can actually work with AI to figure out what that build might look like and get some momentum, get some excitement and wins that sort of get things going.
What I heard of Andy Christina, I didn't get to stay for his entire one. Crestodina, that's it. I didn't get to stay for his. But I think you did, right? You got to hear his.
Yes.
Like, that's the one you heard and I didn't.
Yeah, so that was one, I caught a webinar with him a few months ago, also sponsored by E2M, and he's very tactical, especially with the whole GEO, which is still SEO, just we're using AI now. And he does really good deep dives just super quickly. And so one of the really big takeaways I got from him is when you're analyzing your clients' websites and what AI is saying about them, you can dig into how the AI is producing those results and find where the citations are coming from. And you can do this with your competitors' websites. And so now this is the new form of backlink hunting, right? Like you used to look at a competitor's site, analyze their backlinks, go get those backlinks for your client, and you're at least showing up on the same page now. So now the new thing with AI is finding out where the citations are that AI is now using for generating results for your competitors' sites. And the big takeaway in all of that is you know, in the news right now, and a lot of people are talking about the most important place you need to have mentions is Reddit, right? We're all being told that, hey, your client needs to be talked about in Reddit because that's where the AI is getting the results. Well, Andy did a quick demo showing that Reddit doesn't show up at all for when you start getting very specific for industry and business stuff. And instead, it's classic SEO, Robbie. Oh my God, it's 2012 all over again.
Right.
Industry trade publications, your company's website. Oh my gosh, blow my brain. We still need to have websites and put good content out there. And so that was a really great takeaway for me. The whole Reddit hype train. Look, if you're Coca-Cola, if you are, you know, a major Fortune 500 brand, yes, you probably need to at least be watching what people are saying about you on Reddit because it's probably not good. But for small businesses, no. Don't waste your time on Reddit. It's a cesspool. You're going to get caught up. And then you're going to go onto the popular page and you're going to spend all day just scrolling. So anyway, I really enjoyed Andy's presentation. Then he was showing like the actual stuff. It was too fast for you to kind of like write down what it was, but he was showing you as prompts. And, you know, I'm going to eat up a little more air here and just mention the other takeaway is that he has a project for creating prompts. And so use AI to help you create your prompts. And then he's got like these 5-page prompts that he's created. So anyway, I think the big thing I'm talking about here is I don't know what I'm doing at all with AI. And when I go to these conferences, it really shows me like I'm just scratching the surface with these tools.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know. And I feel like you're right. Even we feel like we're behind with AI when we go to these and we see some of the stuff people are doing. But then when we go outside of industry and you're talking to your friends and family, that's when you go, well, okay, maybe I do know a little bit more about it than I thought. Because then they're just kind of like, what? They're like, Claude, what? Yeah, so we can't beat ourselves up. There's so much.
No.
It's so much. No one's going to know everything about it ever. But all we can do is try and keep up. And as agency owners out there, they really have to keep on top of this just because it's coming whether you want it or not, and it's going to be requested of you whether you want it to be or not, right? Now there be some agencies that hang out there going like, we're never going to use an AI tool, probably, and they will have some sort of clientele base that's I don't want you to ever use AI on my thing. So there's still going to be those people, I believe, but they're going to be much more niche, and it's just going to be a different world for them at a certain point, especially 5 years from now. Can you imagine? Look at where we are now. Where are we going to be in 5 years? So.
I mean, it's kind of like trying to say you're not going to wear polyester. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's in everything, right? And I mean, these tools, whether we call it AI or whatever, like these tools are in everything that we're using now. So I think there's almost a sense of delusion to say you're not using AI. But, you know, I get it. Now, let's talk a little meta for a second. We've gone long with this, but I want to get meta for a second because there was a whole nother component to the Vistara event for us. I was a sponsor with Kinsta. We had a booth. We mentioned that. You were a vendor. You were shooting video. You and your partner, Michael, were just running around, like crushing it. You guys have the coolest gizmo camera tools for sure. And then Vistara set us up with a whole media room. We had a 5-camera podcast studio going.
Yes.
So let's spend a little bit of time talking about what it was like working at Vistara. And I'll let you go first. Talk to me about what it was like shooting video at a conference like this.
You know, we normally shoot video at other types of conferences. I'm usually speaking or attending tech conferences. I think this is probably the first tech conference we've videoed. We normally do other types of conferences for our clients. Yeah. So it was different. It kind of felt weird in a way because I was just like, wow, I'm usually like I said, speaking or have a sponsor booth myself or whatever. And so it was just different. It was like a mixing of my two worlds, which was kind of strange for my brain, I think. But what I will say about it from a vendor standpoint, they were so well organized. It was crazy. Like, I do a lot of different types of conferences, right? They were well organized. Julia, oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. Yeah, it was very well structured. They stayed on time. I mean, there were a little bit of delays on some things, but they adjusted and got themselves always back on time. So it was really great. And again, we were wandering all around, right, doing video work. So we were overhearing lots of conversations, and they had really good feedback from the attendees. So I thought that was excellent.
Nice.
What about you as a sponsor? Did Kinsta feel like this was a really good place to be as a sponsor?
Yeah, so agencies are a ICP for us. We're going to get a little jargony there, ideal customer profile, meaning that we like to sell to agencies for sure. And so a conference full of agencies is a great place for us to be. I also really appreciated how organized this event was. Julia, hats off to you. Wrangling cats for multiple days is a lot of work. And then I thought it was really cool. They put the sponsor area in kind of a foyer that was very dramatic, right? I felt like I kept saying I felt like I was on a set of like Star Trek, like a cantina or something. And I mean, it was really cool in there. And then event manager Sarah did an amazing job. She came up with a whole new booth design for us that was very interactive, and we had people be able to put stickers on it based on where they were feeling on, how much hosting they were doing, how much scaling their company they were doing, and it just created conversations. And so that was a lot of fun. So, huge success. We had great conversations, and the kayaking on Monday before the whole event started was a ton of fun. And we had sunscreen as our swag. I've actually got one right here. And so I was able to hand out sunscreen to everybody on the kayaks and have hats for them. And so it was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this event. And I look forward to doing some more. And I thought that having the podcast room was very interesting because we were both working.
Yes.
And yet we still carved out time to do...
It's like 7.
5? 7?
At least 5. 5 to 7. I can't even remember. I've lost track. And with that being said, so one of the people that we had on our podcast that will be coming up was from Dot & Co., which is also another E2M company.
Yes.
And so and she also has a podcast. So it was great. So it was like we had a podcaster on our podcast. So that was really interesting. She was very good. Enjoyed that a lot. Who we didn't get on there, and I wanted to mention also with the speakers, was Khushboo, who works with E2M, right? So again, it's someone from E2M that was speaking, but very good. And also Vishal that was from E2M. Both of their talks were, again, full of action items. I felt like real data, really showing things. And so I like that. And we will have Khushboo come on the agency inTELL at some point, because that woman knows her stuff. I mean, she really does. And when I say she knows her stuff, she's in that next level of AI where they're dealing with creating their own smaller models, but then also experimenting with all of the sentiment pieces of AI, which is really fascinating. Like with Tribe V2 that came out just recently from Meta and things like that, the sentiment AI is going to get really big. And for people who are listening and going like, what the heck are you even talking about? This is where it is AI models that can go and look at transcripts of your customers, let's say, or help tickets and read the language that they're using to get what is their sentiment. Is this about to churn or what? Are they very happy with us? And then, like E2M has developed this whole dashboard where you can, like, Brent can get up in the morning and look at his dashboard and go like, oh, we've got 3 customers I probably should give some personal attention to, and that's great. I mean, they're using AI in what we're going to all be doing probably in the next few years, but they've really got a head start on that. So I think that's pretty amazing. Yes, and then we also had Brittany. We had some of the other speakers. Brittany Mueller. We had her on the show. Great.
Yep.
And David C. Baker, who we didn't mention yet of the speakers, and he was the closing. Yes. What I really I just loved his though, because it was like, get on the bus. And he said for years, he has always said, you know, there's all these trends. And he'd be like, don't get on that bus because, you know, just don't get on it. It's a trend. Don't get on it. And he said, this is the first time I am going to tell you, get on the bus because I have no idea where it is going, but I just know you need to be on it. And I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. So that was a good sentiment to end the whole conference with too. Like, look, we don't know where it's going, but we know you need to be on it.
For sure. And, you know, I thought it was interesting. There was in the Q&A section of his talk, there were some people asking about, you know, some of the concerns about AI, like it's, you know, the copyright violations are ridiculous. And so how are creative people supposed to adjust to this? And, you know, I thought David was measured in his response of like, hey, you know, that is an issue. It's something that we need to pay attention to. But in the meantime, that doesn't mean we should be disregarding this entire technology. And we are seeing a backlash right now, especially in the US, right? People are getting kind of anti-AI. There's all these boos happening at college graduations. And, you know, I get it. I understand it's scary. Things are changing. There's a lot of hype coming from these AI company leaders, which I've noticed lately they've been dialing it back a little bit because they're trying to IPO, so they're trying to raise trillions of dollars. And so, but I think, you know, a great point somebody made was, look, you don't have to like this technology, but you're going to need to learn how to work with it because it's here. It's not going anywhere.
People just don't know how to get started. It's sort of like writing a book. It's like you don't plan it all out first. You just sit down and you start, and then you figure out what's going to happen next. And we've had these really weird movements in the past where red flags went up like crazy in my head around digital transformation, for instance. It's like everybody got on the digital transformation bus. Everybody got on the branding bus, and everybody got on the storytelling bus. And I kept saying to people, it's like, you're getting on the bus and you don't even know where it's going, right? Stop it. Now, this is the AI bus. I think this is different. I think you need to get on the AI bus, even though we don't know where it's going.
Roger, as a sponsor, do you feel it was a benefit? Would you guys with Kinsta sponsor again?
Absolutely, 100%. I would sponsor again, not only because my bosses were happy about how the sponsorship worked out, but also it was just a really good time. I mean, I like working in this space for a reason. The people are fascinating. I love talking about websites. I go crazy in my local town because I can't talk about this stuff to anybody. And Vistara was one of those things. It was just like everybody there was my best friend, right? Like, oh my gosh, talk to me about how you're using technology. What are the cool new things that you've figured out? And everybody would always have something interesting and new for me to hear. So yeah, I thought Vistara was great. How about you?
Fantastic. I mean, we were a media partner, and that was great to work with them because they were just so well organized. But also, as an agency owner, it was really nice to be in a space with other agency owners, and they had quite a diverse group of agency owners, probably the most female agency owners I've ever seen at one event, like so high percentage. And so that was really nice because it gives you so many more perspectives, I feel like. And the conversations were very open and transparent too. I didn't feel like people were trying to like, oh, you're going to steal my clients. No one seemed to be thinking that at all. Everyone was just like, we're all in this crazy time, and what are you doing, and what should I be doing? I mean, it was very open, and some people were very opinionated, obviously, because they've already been doing some things, but it was good. It was good to hear what they had done, and some people who had tried things that didn't work out. That's nice, because it's like, okay, maybe that is not something I was thinking about doing. Maybe that's not something I should be thinking about right now. So I thought it was really well done. Not to mention the T-shirts. Ask me about AI on the front. Great T-shirts.
Absolutely. No, it was a great one.
Yes, indeed. And Vistara said they're going to start doing more of these conferences, so people should go and to their website. Do you remember, is it just Vistara.com or?
Joinvistara.com.
That's it, Join Vistara. Thank you. So yes, so people should go and watch out for the next one, because if you're an agency owner, there's some really good information you'll get there.
Oh, love it.
like we are with our people here. These are all the agency owners. Everyone gets each other. You know, you're chatting, grabbing coffee, or just around a table. And it's just like, these are our people.
All right. Till the next conference.
Adios.